And welcome back, everybody. This is the Tom Sumner program, and joining me now is a Flint author, historian, who has written the book Remembering Flint, Michigan, Stories from the Vehicle City. Although he's actually in Florida right now, he joins me by phone, Gary Flinn. Gary, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tom.
Now, we just finished up in the last segment talking. We were remembering Chuck Barris with Murray Langston, the unknown comic. But just over the last day or so, since learning about Chuck Barris passing away Tuesday at age 87, there was an article in MLive. You were quoted in the article talking about some of the coincidences, or not coincidences, but connections, rather, between the Gong Show, Chuck Barris, and Flint, as detailed in your book, Remembering Flint, Michigan, Stories from the Vehicle City. The first thing I want to ask you about, one of the things that was mentioned was a Flint Generals pennant. Tell me about the pennant.
Oh, yes. Of course, the Flint Generals hockey team was Flint's only professional sports team at that time. And Barris had a soft spot for Flint. It was in Flint that a song he composed that was recorded by Freddie Cannon was played by mistake on radio station WTAC WETAC Big Six, which was the top 40 station at that time. That station on AM 600 is now a religious station, WSNL. And what happened was that song was intended to be the B-side of a song Freddie Cannon co-wrote called June, July, and August. But a DJ at WTAC played the flip side by mistake, and the phone lit up. It became a hit. And so the record label asked other radio stations to turn the record over, and it became a number 3 hit, and also was a hit internationally.
It was 1962.
Yes, it was. And Freddie Cannon made a few appearances in Flint over the years, thanks to that record, and that inspired Chuck Barris to mention Flint more than once. For example, the host of the Newlywed Game, Bob Eubanks, who was a disc jockey in Los Angeles at the time, was a Flint native. And when he had a short-lived parody of beauty pageants called the $1.98 Beauty Show, he had a Flint native who became a popular comic actress, Sandra Bernhardt, but she used another name on that show. But she was announced on the $1.98 Beauty Show that she was from Flint. Of course, it wasn't a real beauty pageant. It was more like a parody. And on that show, she won. And you ought to see her wearing a... But when they had the bathing suit competition, so of course, she was as skinny as a stick. And, of course, that was very funny with when she strutted her stuff on the catwalk.
Oh, that is funny. And I beg to differ. I don't know that I would call Sandra Bernhardt popular. I would say well-known.
Yeah. She was on TV. She did stand-up. She did some movies. But of course, as a child, she...
But tell me about the pennant, the Flint Generals pennant. How that ended up.
That's a good question, I guess. Because there was a Flint professional sports team at that time, that Barris obtained that pennant and attached it above the gong on the set.
That is so funny because, I've watched that show many, many times and never really noticed that, never paid attention. Now, I remember, Tim Allen, of course, wearing, college sweatshirts from all the different colleges around Michigan on his television show as just kind of a salute, to his home state of Michigan. But I never noticed that Flint Generals pennant on the Gong Show. That's amazing.
Yes. If you're able to watch some episodes, they're probably online now because Game Show Network did air the Gong Show several years ago. In fact, they produced a documentary back in 2006 when Barris' shows were on GSN. And it was that documentary that inspired me to write that piece for an alternative paper, which was in publication at that time, called The Uncommon Sense. And most of the pieces I wrote for The Uncommon Sense formed the basis of my first book, Remembering Flint, Michigan. But the pennant was hung on the left side over the gong. There was another pennant on the right side above the gong. So that G logo on that pennant was a dead giveaway.
You know, you mentioned your book, Remembering Flint, Michigan, Stories from the Vehicle City, but you have a new book that's coming out shortly.
Oh, yes. It's coming out July 3rd, and the title is Hidden History of Flint. And they got some more stories in that. And I like intriguing chapter titles. For example, one chapter is called When Marxism Came to Flint. That's the Marx Brothers, as in Groucho, Harpo, Chico, Zeppo, and Gummo.
And of course, the until recently undiscovered Aleppo.
Yeah, that was fun. But the unique aspect of the Marx Brothers chapter is that it was in Flint that all 5 Marx Brothers appeared on stage for what was thought to be the only time, and it occurred in Flint.
A lot of people don't realize that George Carlin made his first solo appearance in Flint. He had been part of Burns and Carlin and separated from the team, and his first gig by himself as a stand-up comedian was in Flint, Michigan.
That was interesting. I do recall that one of his early stand-up comedy albums, the one with his famous Wonderful Wino disc jockey routine, was recorded at the Rooster Tail in Detroit.
Oh, really? Not that I did not know. But in the new book coming out in July, what are a couple of other little-known facts that you uncovered for your book about Flint?
Well, one which is very relevant today is about the Flint water crisis. Did you know that it was a half century in the making?
Well, I think we're starting to learn that.
Yeah. There were plans in the 1960s for a water pipeline from Lake Huron to Flint, but a real estate profiteering scandal scuttled those plans, and the city commission decided to scrap that pipeline and instead buy water from Detroit.
And thus began the beginning of the end, sort of.
Sort of. It took several years of rate increases, which wound up over time becoming more steep, that with the county complaining of the higher water rates, so eventually led to the formation of the Carigandi Water Authority, or KWA, which is a rival pipeline, which is now almost finished, from Lake Huron to Genesee County. The county's water plant in Lapeer County should be ready for operation later this year, probably as soon as October, but as you may know, the Flint water plant may not be ready until 2019. So we may wind up buying water from Genesee County in the meantime once their water plant goes online.
Oops, that started a little early. Sorry about that, Gary.
Oh, yes, that was Chuck Barris's hit song.
That's right. Anyway, we've got to wrap things up, but how's the water in Florida?
Water in Florida's great. Having a great time. And if we're stuck around long enough, my aunt's, I'm staying at my aunt's house, and she has a clock that chimes at the top of the hour. So if you hear that in the background, you'll know, you're given the warning.
Oh, we've got to cut out before the top of the hour.
Oh, yes.
But Gary.
Oh, yeah. Mary Jo Greenwood wanted to say hi.
Who?
Hi, I'm the wife of the former United Way director, John Greenwood. He passed away 6 years ago.
Oh, well, hello, and welcome to the show.
Yeah.
All
Hello?
right. Hello. Gary, thanks so much
Gary
for...
handed the phone to me.
Oh,
Here, I'm
I see.
handing it back to him. He
All right.
handed it to me.
All right.
Okay, I'm back on.
All right. Gary, we got to wind it up, but Gary, thanks so much. Enjoy your vacation.
And thank you, Tom.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.